Okay, so even before starting anything, let me just tell you that Gazebo also has topics. Like Gazebo Classic also had topics, like Ross has topics. Same way, even Gazebo has topic. Those are Gazebo Sim topics. Okay, so basically Gazebo Sim also has their own topics. So let me show you some topics. I've just opened any empty world scene. So if you write Gazebo help, it will show you what are the options are there. So you will see not just topic, there are even services. So in coming up videos, will in one of the video we'll also use services. Now we'll be using topic. So let me show you how this topic works. Now if you again write help, it will tell you what are the available list on it. So let's do list help. It will give us all the topics that are available over here. So these are Gazebo topics. Like Ross has topics same way, entirely similar. Gazebo has topics, but they have a different message types and all those things. We'll discuss it in a minute. But see this. So Gazebo also has their topic. So in this video, even from this videos, what are we going to generally do is we already wrote one system plugin of moving the model. Now we will be using different ways of communication to control that velocity of that model. To move it in z direction, we'll be using different communication methods. So in this video, we are going to talk about how to do that with Gazebo's topics. So let's see how to do it. But these are the topics and you can look into them how to like list the topic, what are their data types. So if you look Gazebo topic, I for input, T for topic, and let's see some any random topic, maybe this. So it will tell you no one is publishing at the topic. If you see this, this looks very similar to how Ross topics are, right? So they are similar as I just told you. So it is being subscribed at this address, and this is the message type of it. So even Gazebo has their own message type, like we have Ross message types, standard messages, standard sensor messages, or some different messages, or you user can define their own message in Ross. Also same way you can do it for Gazebo as well. So let's get back to the documentation. So what are we going to do in this video is we are going to use this terminal to publish on Gazebo topic. So this is the topic name and this is the message type of this Gazebo topic. So this double is the message type and this is Gazebo messages double. And this is Gazebo node, like Ross has Ross nodes, right? So even Gazebo has their Ross Gazebo nodes. So those nodes are called Gazebo transport. So basically there is a package of Gazebo that's called Gazebo transport that has this all nodes and all those information for Gazebo topics and all those things. So similarly Ross topics, here are Gazebo nodes and Gazebo Ross nodes, and here are Gazebo top nodes. So what is this? So I'm going to publish it from the terminal, and on this topic it is going to subscribe, the node is going to subscribe, and it is going to change this variable. And the entire code that we wrote last time is same, nothing different on the system plugin logic or even the code structure. Just we are going to add this functionality of Gazebo transport now onto that. Okay, so although I'm writing it manually, I'm publishing all the data manually from my side, like I'm publishing on this using terminal. But there are ways, if you check this documentation, you can also write this on Python as well, not just C++. You can write publisher subscriber, Gazebo transport publisher subscriber, and Ross node as well. So I'm not going to explain this. This is very well documented. You can read this up and you will understand, because I assume that you already know Ross too, right? So even these are very similar to those kind of things. It's nothing much of a different. So this is one document. Even Python is also similar to that. So in that, both just try and go through the publisher and subscriber part of theirs. Okay, and then on the SDF file, if you see, now we have changed some parameters. Now the same model name is there, the same thing, it's still there. Now we are using this topic name to mention this topic. So this topic name is basically going to come from this SDF file, the world file, and everything over here that we had on the last video is same. Nothing has changed. Just we have added this Gazebo transport node for Gazebo, and this G messages double for our Gazebo topics. Okay. So let's try and understand how gazebo topics are made and what are those actually and how they look. So if you see on the documentation, if you see on gazebo's documentation or gazebo's website, you will understand that this, if you go on the gazebo messages, so these are all supported messages. There's a lot of other supported messages, but on the end it proto has been written. Okay, so proto is basically Google proto buffer messages. So Google has made a message type to send messages between things. Okay, so Gazebo Sim is using those topics. Even Classic used to have the same topics, if you know. So these are those topics. And then as we are looking to double, let's find a double over here. So this is that double file. We'll go inside this. So it is part of GZ messages, and the name of it is double. And then using this proto file, they generate they generate this Gazebo Sim message double class. So if you go inside this class, this is where the actual gazebo message is being defined. So it uses this double.pb.h. Okay, so this is that entire message thing over here that is being defined. Because this double.pb.h, we are also in our h file, we are using this gazebo messages double pb.h. Okay, and there are different options on it. Now let's see Gazebo Sim transport node. So if you go on to this, it is very much similar to how ROS nodes are. Okay, so even this Gazebo transport has this publisher, subscriber, and the node, and in the node is the same that you write on Gazebo Sim. So in the code, we are just adding this line on the h file. If you see, we are just added this node. So this is coming from this because this is Gazebo transport node. That's why we have added on the h file this Gazebo transport node, and then we have mentioned this to get an object of node class. Okay, then on the node class, you will see there are publisher and subscribe, because we are going to subscribe, as I was saying on this, that I'm going to publish it from the terminal, and this Gazebo transport node is going to subscribe. So we are going to write the subscriber part of it. We are not writing publisher. If you want to write your own publisher instead of publishing it from terminal, you can look into this documentation. There you will be able to understand how to make it happen. So it's very simple. Just we define this node, and the next line on the subscriber, so there are subscribe. If you open the link, you will get the details of subscriber as well. If you go inside the subscriber details are there. What it takes topic, and then the same way it takes the function callback, topic callback. Okay, like if you know ROS, then it's the same thing that even ROS uses. So this is the topic name that you need to mention, and then you just give the callback that you want it to call whenever it receives a message. So this callback function, so it uses this constant, and this is the same GZ message double. This message, I hope you understood that how this message is coming, because it's GZ message double. So this is how this message is formed. Is this the namespace, and this message, so message dot data, and where from this data is coming. So if you look into this double class, you will find this data variable. This gives you the data access to this. Okay, so you might have seen this on ROS as well. So it's the same thing that's over here as well. It's exactly same. So this is that message, and it's working. Is this that simple? Now I can show you the code, entire code. So here are the header files. Everything is same till here. We define this. We define the transport node, and then we add this callback function. Then if you go on the code, everything is same. And then if you go down on the end, we are just defining this on the configure. Yeah, so here we are just defining this, and it just takes the topic, and topic is coming from this SDF file that's there on this. The topic name, it's coming from here, and then it's just added over here, and then the subscriber is subscribing to it, and we are calling subscriber over here. Then this callback is there, and it's reading the data, and everything is same. It's just that because this z velocity that you remember from last video, we are changing that velocity. Because of that, when you're running your code, this jet value keeps on changing and this function keeps on updating, right? So because of that, it's also keeps on changing, and then you just it keeps on updating. And the other thing that I've added over here is now I'm using update. So if you remember that video of interface, here we are using update. Why update? Even if you use pre-update or you're doing update, it's the same thing, because we it had both read and write access and we are writing onto the component, right? So it's the same thing, nothing different over there, because I'm using update. So here iSystem also has the update. Okay, and then this model register, and on the launch file same is added up. Okay, now let's just check that out. So we'll again do the same thing, Gazebo Sim. For verbosity we'll do this, and then we'll add the world file name and it will launch. Okay, so initially when I've assigned it 0, so it's not moving at all. The initial velocity of it is 0, so it's not moving. So now we'll check for, firstly, is our topic there? What was the topic name? The topic name was this, right? So we'll check for this. So we'll use the same cheesy topic and for list. So we got this topic list, and on this you see this message is there. Okay, now let's do the same thing to see what is the message type we have given. So on this, so it's subscribing but no one is publishing on it, so we are going to publish it from terminal right now. You see gazebo message double. Okay, and this is the TCP connection and this is the IP of it and port. Okay, now how to publish on the topic I've given over here. It's very much similar to ROS topic publication. So let's keep both of side by side. So once we start moving, let's move it in positive. So you see this value is getting updated and this is moving up, and on the runtime if I move it minus, then it receives this value and then it's gradually coming down. Yep, so it's down. Once more, let's try some other velocity. Yeah, it's going up. Now if I make it minus, it should go down. Simple, nothing special. So this is what we are going to do on the tutorial further on, that we first write a system plugin, then try and adding some functionality onto it for communication. So in next video we'll see how to use the ROS and this gazebo messages using ROS gazebo bridge.